Yo, what's up aliens? AHEE here with another tutorial. Today we're going to make one of my favorite sounds of all time, the Reese Bass. It's going to be super simple. We're going to just dive straight into it. So we're going to get a saw wave here in Serum. Basic. We're going to turn it up the unison to 9. And we're going to turn on the filter, put the cutoff around 1,100 some odd. Yeah, and then we're going to turn up the drive to 41%. And we're done. Into the tutorial. We're going on. Okay, I'm just kidding. But that's it, pretty much. That's the basics of it, is that Reese basses are made out of detuned saw waves, sort of like a, what's it called, a super saw, but it's been filtered out. But it's still about that phasing and how the phasing interacts with all the different overtones to create that more like distorted sound. Also, but we're going to go into a little bit more depth and a couple other techniques on how to create Reese basses that I think y'all will find really interesting. So what I would do from here is that maybe I'd turn down the detune just by 1 to 0.24, and I'd turn on the mono, legato, always, and I'm going to turn up the portamento to say, I don't know, 80 to 100-ish kind of thing, so that way you can really that way it really glides. Now, maybe one way to make this a little bit more unique is we could turn up the resonance to 76% and turn on key tracking, so that way it's always moving where the filter is, depending upon what note you're playing. So pretty cool. But let's try a couple other variations. We're going to turn down the resonance, and we're going to turn on the distortion. And we're going to turn this up to 76%. We're going to keep it on tube here, and then we're also going to grab the compressor. And we're not going to turn on multiband, and we're going to turn up the drive to we're going to turn up the gain to 9.5. All right, great. Let's hear, what does that sound like? That distortion's getting like a little wobble in there. If we turned on the multiband, it would give a brighter flavor. We're going to turn down the threshold to -11. That really brings it out there. Now, if you play this sound higher, you'll notice it sounds like a glitch mob lead. There you go. 2 tutorials in 1. All right, next we're going to turn on the hyper dimension. We're going to turn up the detune to 79% and the mix up to 75 and the dimension mix up to 48 and the size down to 0. And we're going to turn on the filter. We're going to keep it on a low 6, and we're going to turn up the hertz to, what is it? Where are we going to turn it up to? We're going to make this typable. We're going to go into global. We're going to hit double click for typable values on controls. So that way when we go to the cutoff, we can double click on it and type it in. We're going to type in 666. Super important for the sound. And then the drive to 23%. And let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, it's got so much more grit to it now. Now all these are cool different ways of making Reese sounds. Let's go back to oscillators and add in a noise to get even grittier sound. Make it go. No. Very cool. Let's change this to like a more unique sound. I have my custom sounds. I'm going to put in Electric Toothbrush 2. Reese Bass with Electric Toothbrush. Let's check it out. Sounds pretty amazing. Let's turn up that toothbrush. If we turn off this, what is just the electric toothbrush sound? That sounds so gnarly. All right, we're gonna change this again to metal ring. This is another custom sound. You can get these custom sounds from my splice pack. We're gonna turn on pitch tracking and tune it to 37. Put the level at 33. Let's hear what that sounds like. Ooh, you hear that? It's like this, like it's just like this super subtle, like ringing on the top end. Oh, I love that. It's just throwing in your own custom Foley sounds and then distorting it along with the super saws just adds so much character, and that's the main thing I want to show y'all with this sound. So again, pretty simple. Save that. We're going to create a whole nother Reese sound. So let's go ahead, initialize. We're going to turn on oscillator B. We're going to keep oscillator A on a built-in sawtooth. We're going to change this to basic shapes on a sine wave. We're going to turn up the levels all the way and make sure you're playing that low sub octave. We're going to go ahead and do the legato, mono, portamento time, turn that up. Next, we're going to set the saw wave so that way it's a unison 2 voices, and we're going to detune it to 0.13. Next, we're going to go into here and we're going to turn on distortion, turn it the drive all the way up. We're going to turn on the compressor, turn on multiband, turn up this gain to 12.2. We're going to turn the threshold down to negative 10.9, and then let's listen to that. Oh yeah. Oof, beefy. It's all about that distorting the saw wave with the sine wave together. Now let's turn up this sine wave. Check this out. Oh, that's crazy. Also here, let's turn the unison down. Now let's sort of mess around with this fine tune. You can start to hear there's some wobbles in there, the detuning between these two. Super sick. All right. You can notice like the different amounts of detuning changes like how it's phasing and how you can get those little wobbles in there. Save that right now, and that is, boom, your second Reese Bass in the same tutorial. Alright aliens, I hope y'all enjoyed this quick one. Definitely experiment around with these different ways of producing Reese Basses. Alright aliens, now's the time. At the end of every video I talk about my magic Ableton racks and how y'all can use these to get better mixes and sounds. So check this out. In our first example of the Reese Bass, this one, that really warm sound, if you notice here in span, it actually can go out of phase sometimes. See that right there at the beginning? Down there in the correlation meter over here to the left means it's going out of phase. That means it's no longer mono compatible. So how I fix that is I just throw on my stereo control, and if we listen to it now, you can see it stays in phase. So we got that sound. Let's try adding the auto chopper to it. Boom, that's so sick. Now let's try adding in the dirty sine wave. Oof, that's rough. Now let's try putting the magic filter just on top of that dirty sine wave. Very cool. Definitely try to mess around with that. Alright, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to hit like and subscribe for more bass music tutorials. and I will see y'all next week. All right. Peace, aliens.
Turn it up.